Hey guys, it's MGS Warrior 2. I have another sweet video to show off today. This features Virizion, but we'll get there later on. I lead off with Fortress, he led off with his Sawsbuck, and then he switches into his Landorus Therian. I set up a layer of spikes while he was doing that, and then he gets up his layer of stealth rocks. I set up a second layer of spikes, he goes for the earthquake, and then I got up my final layer of spikes. So I switch out since Fortress did its job, and I switch into Balloon Minun to be immune to the earthquake. Now he switches into his Cresselia as I try to go for Hidden Power Ice, which is probably something he predicted. Now I go into my cast form. Now he Ice Beams, and that is the turning point of the battle because cast form has been frozen. Now he sets up a Reflect, and I suspected it had double screens on this Cresselia, so it also set up a light screen. So unfortunately my cast form stayed frozen, and it did not thaw out. That allowed his Cresselia to 2-hit KO my thing, and can't even cast form. There you go, with Psychic. Now he brings back his Landorus Therian. I go into my Fortress, tried the Bug Bite on his Cresselia. So now I have to switch out because nothing Fortress could do. He goes for the Earthquake, and my Virizion resists that, of course, it's a part grass. So he goes back into his Cresselia as I set up a substitute. And now I go for the Giga Drain, which does basically nothing after the light screen on this Cresselia. Now he breaks my sub with Psychic, so I do not want to stay in. So I switch out and go into Fortress, who I know is part steel and can resist Psychic. Okay, so now he switches back into his Landorus Therian, getting the Intimidate off and taking the Bug Bite, which does nothing after the Intimidate. So now he pretty much has my number here because his random team seems to be the counter to pretty much what I have so far. He was able to hit the Stone Edge on Minun and pop my balloon, and that did some nice damage to Minun. And he avoided the Hidden Power Ice once again by switching back into his Cresselia. And it seems like we're repeating almost the same cycle here. I go back into my Fortress, but this time it's set up a light screen. Now he goes back into his Landorus T. I switch out and go into Minun, so I kind of predicted that he go into Landorus Therian, so I kind of got smarter there. But he goes back to his Cresselia, same thing he always does, to avoid Hidden Power Ice. So I go back in my Fortress with Baton Pass. He goes for Psychic, and that nearly takes down Fortress. So now he goes back into his Landorus Therian. I go for another failed Bug Bite attempt on the Cresselia. Landorus Therian can take those all day, any day. So now he Earthquakes and finishes off my Fortress. So I go into my Minun, but of course he's not going to stay in to die to the Hidden Power Ice, so he switches into his Cresselia once again, a move he's done repeatedly. And now I just go for the Thunderbolt because I know that switching Minun is pointless at this point because Stealth Rocks is eventually going to kill it off if I bring it back in. So I bring in my Typhlosion, go for the Eruption. It didn't do as much as I thought, but Typhlosion did take Stealth Rock damage. So there you go. I miss a Fire Blast, unfortunately. So my Typhlosion got damaged by Psychic, which did a decent chunk. Now he brings into his Seismitoad, who definitely resists Fire Blast, and it doesn't do a whole lot even because the light screen is up as well. He goes for Surf, but my Virizion is able to resist that and not take too much damage from it. Okay, so now, of course, my Virizion scared off his Seismitoad because it's ×4 weak against grass, so he switches into his Cresselia. So now I go back into my Typhlosion here because I do not want my Virizion taking a Psychic. So I had my Typhlosion take it instead. This looks to be a one-sided battle. It's because I only have 2 Pokemon left. Try for the Charge Beam to try to get the special attack boost, but I don't get it. And if he finally shows off the Ice Beam, which is what Emolga's weak against, go for Thunderbolt, and that paralyzes Cresselia, but it's too little too late for Emolga to finish off Cresselia, and it goes down to the second Ice Beam. Now I bring in my Virizion, which is the only hope left I have in this battle. I finish off Cresselia with the Giga Drain, and he decided just to leave it out there as death fodder. So he brings in his Landorus Therian. I go for the Giga Drain, and that does a nice chunk, and I heal off some nice damage. And it doesn't look like he has a move that can damage me too much because he just has been going for the Earthquakes here. And that's fine by me because it looks like he's just gonna let me take out his Landorus Therian. But now he shows off the superpower, and of course it's gonna do more than Earthquake because it's neutral damage. But Virizion's still able to take that fairly well. And one last Giga Drain took down the Landorus Therian. So Virizion is looking good here. He goes into a Shiftry, but I know one Focus Blast will knock that right out, and it does. And luckily I did not miss the Focus Blast. So Virizion is on the verge of a comeback here. Virizion unfortunately missed a Focus Blast on Sawsbuck, allowing Sawsbuck to get off a jump kick. So now here I'm getting nervous because I missed a second Focus Blast. So if I'm not able to hit a Focus Blast, the Sawsbuck is eventually going to take me down with another jump kick. So this is my last chance, and I was able to take full advantage of it, hitting that third attempted Focus Blast to take down the Sawsbuck. And that was key there to stay in this battle. So now I just go for the Giga Drain to get some health back. But his Rock Slide was a crit, which was a little annoying. So I decide just to go for the Giga Drain one more time before going for another Focus Blast so I can get some HP back. And now I go for Focus Blast, and that, of course, is going to take down Cradilly because it's weak against Focus Blast. So all he has left is his Seismitoad. And that is the victory for me because there's no way that Seismitoad is going to last against Virizion. And I just Giga Drain it and I win. And that was an amazing, epic comeback, sweep, victory. My Virizion was incredible. I'm so happy. I thought I was definitely going to lose this battle, but you never know what's going to happen. So I suggest that you never give up in battles because you never know what might happen. You just give yourself a chance and see what happens. And maybe you might be able to pull off a comeback. So alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this amazing epic Virizion comeback sweep. Comment, like, sub, and see you guys next time.